Hi there, Rachel Kaplan here, licensed psychotherapist and the creator and host of the podcast, The Healing Feeling Shit Show. Today is the third video I'm doing in a row on the specifics of feeling your feelings. So it's best used after the first two. But the deal here is we're going to talk troubleshooting. And the main problem that everybody has when trying to feel their feelings, especially after 20 or 30 or 50 years of not feeling your feelings, is you don't have enough bandwidth. Let me explain. So if we think about it like a poop, you didn't poop for 30 years. That's a big fucking poop. You are going to be, let's not even talk about that. Okay. Another way to look at it, like I said, bandwidth. So you went to the airport, you were gonna download that movie at home, but you forgot, and so now you're dealing with the airport Wi-Fi. And are you gonna be able to download that movie even if you have like 2 hours of a layover? No, you're not. You're not, and you know it, because the bandwidth at the airport sucks. And so it's not going to take that big file through into your device. So sorry about that. And who flies anymore anyway? But, I'll need a new metaphor. But anyway, the deal is that to move feelings that we have been avoiding for a really long time, we often need like Wi-Fi hotspots, basically. It's what I've come to understand that I am professionally, that and an emotional colonics expert. But anyway, so what is going to increase your bandwidth and give you the emotional strength that you can actually connect to these hidden, painful places and move them? So I'm going to give you some that go across the board, and then in each video about the specific emotions that we'll be getting into, I'll give you a few more that's really good for that feeling. So some that are good for every feeling is music. You can find angry music, you can have sad music, you have music that reminds you of a time in your life where you have all those feelings. So music is a really great tool, and it's also just amazing. So you can make a sad playlist, or you can make an angry playlist. I have funny stories, but we don't have time for that in these videos, but listen to the podcast. There's all the stories. You can also do art, like creating art of pretty much any kind, like drawing, writing about your feelings. Now you can't be a perfectionist while you're making your art. If you're just trying to make it perfect, then you're not going to be connecting into the feelings. You're probably going to be layering pressures and shoulds on yourself, which is not very liberating for feelings. But if you're just like writing your poetry and you're crying, or you're drawing a picture of how you feel like a fat, ugly noob and nobody likes you and you're crying, those are really great. Sometimes it's really useful to be in nature, to be outside, so we're reminded that we're little and that we're part of something bigger and that there's something that we can lean into for support. What we mostly see with humans is that humans tend to lean on each other. And so there's a lot, especially when it comes to feelings, of people calling their friends and having all their feelings on their friends, which sometimes works for the friends, but sometimes it feels really messy and codependent. And what I would love to see is more people having the ability to emotionally poop on their own, so that you know when it's a really special occasion that you really need to invite your friend into the bathroom and have an emotional poop with your friend. No judgment. So nature is a really great option for that, because it's alive and it's there for us, and it's so balanced and slow. So to connect to it, we usually have to slow down ourselves, and we have to take in where we are, and you might sit with a tree at your back or in front of a beautiful, array of springtime blossoms, and take in the beauty, and maybe even talk to the tree or the flowers about what you're sad about, if that's not too much for you. So getting connected to something bigger than yourself, and ideally that's not human. Of course you can call your friend if you need to, but you already know that, right? What else? Worst case scenario, though very accessible, so no judgment, is we can use media. We can use sad cat videos, or really touching, uplifting stories about how people are helping each other, or exposure to the horrific shit that's happening in our world. And then once we start having our feelings of sadness or loss or fear or rage, close the computer and start trying to move it for yourself. Try to milk it for all the ways that you're having your feelings that aren't about just what you saw. One of the things particularly true with sadness is just like all the rivers lead to the ocean, all loss, all grief can touch on all of our loss and grief. And so anytime you're in a flow of feeling, you might have really strange things you wouldn't think are connected pop up, and that's actually good. So basically, find a way to increase your bandwidth, play with it, figure out what works for you so that you can move and download that big ass feeling through your body. And we'll talk about a few things more next time. See you soon. This is the Healing Feeling Shit Show. Are you gonna have that feeling and let it go? There is no other way to feel whole. This is the Healing Feeling Shit Show.